Okay, no one really talks about this side of being an artist, the truth. So we're gonna do that today. Okay, hello, I am Claire Luxton and I am a full-time contemporary artist, and I have been so for around the past 10 years, ever since I finished my fine art degree at Goldsmiths, the University of London. Some of you will know me from my self-portraiture work. Some of you will know me from my public art installations, which are very much at the heart and core of my practice. And some of you will know me from my poetry, or if I'm very lucky, all three at once, as they kind of blend together into my Claire Luxton creative universe. Now, before we get into this topic, this truth of being an artist in 2025, I kind of want to address the elephant in the room, which is that I haven't posted a video on this channel, which I launched towards the end of last year, since the end of last year. Actually, not even the end of last year. I want to say it was around October. If I remember correctly, the last video that you saw was an artist in New York. My husband, Scott, and I were in New York, actually not for work, for holiday. And this was a very chaotic time for me, as we were in the process of trying to sell our house, move house, so that I can build my dream studio. Effectively, since August last year, I've been studio-less, and it has left me in, let's just say I found it a lot more difficult than I was anticipating. That being said, I had all the best intentions in the world of managing the house move, managing my fine art career and the projects that I had at the time, and the new launch of this channel, which is something that is very dear to my heart, because whilst at the core of my artwork, I make very, very explicit and vulnerable artworks, which are rooted in storytelling, are rooted in communicating with people the experiences and emotions that we feel. I am, let's say, absolutely terrible at sharing that vulnerability when it comes to my own personal life. I am a deep-rooted perfectionist, shall we say, and I was just unable to maintain everything. And that's where it comes to being an artist in 2025. As my work is, as I said, rooted in truth and vulnerability, I really want to drag that side of myself out here, because I have made a lot of mistakes and I have learnt these things, shall we say, the hard way. So if I'm able to relay that to you in a way that allows you to not make the same mistakes as me, or to not feel isolated in these very common and real experiences that artists have, then that is what I am here to do. The lonely, quiet trudge of an artist, all of the things that you do not see online, that do not even make your own camera reel, that don't make the highlights, they might not even make it into the family chat. All of those things, this quiet, solitary trudge, are the things that make your practice, make your art career, the late, frustrated evenings, the sad and somewhat down mornings where I just don't feel creative, are at the heart of the hard work. It's the days where you are having to push yourself despite feeling not creative, or the days where you feel incredibly creative but don't actually have the time or the facility to make those things happen. The artwork that you make and don't like, it's the endless dissatisfaction with your own practice that allows those highlights and those shiny moments to come to fruition. But those shiny moments are maybe, I would say, like 2% of the time, and it's everything else that goes into your practice that just isn't seen or spoken about. One of the repeated things that I see artists struggling with is that we are not content creators. We are artists. I myself love solitary creation, shutting myself away and making, and maybe none of that even sees the light of day. And I always love the quote of make as if no one will ever see your work. But in the digital age, in this modern world, the opportunity to share our work is incredible. It's an amazing chance for us to, democratize the art world and allow our work to be seen. But that involves the creation of videos and shoots and short form content and long form content and running our own businesses and accountancy and shows and selling our work and pitching our work and having a public presence and having a business. And all of those things are a lot to navigate and manage. I think the truth about being an artist in 2025 is that there are a lot of different aspects to juggle, and I think the art world can feel like a very closed off and isolated institution where people aren't willing to share information. It's a lot of gatekeeping, a lot of hierarchy, and as someone who is a full-time working contemporary artist, I hope that this can be a gateway into that world for you if it's something that you're interested in. I don't come from a family of artists. Both of my parents were teachers. My husband works in a completely different industry. So every connection, every project, every opportunity that I've had in the past 10 years have been fostered through a lot of hard work and a lot of different avenues. And hopefully on this channel I can share that with you. Now, taking us back to the end of last year and where I left you off on a cliffhanger, I have now moved house. At the same time as moving house, I was actually in the middle of creating and launching a 3-month commissioned exhibition at Frameless Gallery in London. This exhibition has now just come to an end, and maybe hence I'm here, hello, ready to come back from my disappearance into the real world. It was a really incredible opportunity and show to put on, but creating that whilst moving house and maintaining the other aspects of my practice was just too much for me to juggle. Now, I have experienced burnout in the past, and I could feel that be something that could potentially happen again, and so something had to give, in essence. I say this as a reminder that not everything has to be perfect all at once, and this is a mantra that I need to repeat and teach myself on a frequent occasion. But sometimes you need to listen to your art, you need to listen to yourself, you need to listen to your work and tap out of the thing that isn't currently serving you. Now, this year I've decided to put a lot of different structures in place to allow me to facilitate as many avenues of my art practice as possible. Hence, I'm back with you now. But these things do take time, and sometimes it's okay to let certain aspects fall to the wayside if they're not serving you creatively, if they don't fill up your cup. If you really just want to settle down and focus on your illustrations, or if you want to start writing again, or if you want to play around with photography or start a new venture altogether, those things will still be there for you to pick back up at the end of your pause, break or disappearance. Honestly, sometimes I feel the urge just to vanish for 12 months and just work solely on a project and re-emerge is very strong. So really this is a little bit of a welcome back and a hello if you don't have a clue who I am, which is completely understandable. But I hope that this can be a place for fellow like-minded artists, creatives, collectors, people who are passionate about what they do. I have 3 different exhibitions which are happening over the next 6 months. Some of that will involve us going to Paris, some of that will involve us going to Los Angeles, and there's a lot of Well, there's actually a couple of different potential public art opportunities which are also coming up. And so I'm hoping that with the foresight of my past experiences and with what everyone has told me from my other social media platforms on Instagram, that this would be something you'd be interested in coming on this journey with me. So I hope that I'll be able to share that with you in a somewhat vulnerable and honest way. So if any of this sounds of any interest to you, I would love it if you would subscribe and join me here. I'm aiming to have a new video up every Thursday evening. I want you to hold me to it. Hold me responsible for this Thursday post. This is something I'm really passionate about. I love long form content. Most of my sculptures and installations form that long form content, and I think this is good. This is good for me, and it's hopefully something that will be helpful and positive for you as well. So I hope to see you here next week, and do leave me a hi and a hello in the comments. I would love to know what it is that you might be more interested in, because from my point of view, this is maybe quite boring and quite dull. So if it isn't to you, please let me know what out of my practice, out of my crazy brain, you might find helpful or interesting. Thank you very much for being here. Hello again. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for your patience on this journey. But yeah, I will see you, hopefully, we will see each other next Thursday. Okay, bye.